This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
And then it's show day, man. Here we are, the Astrodome. What's the atmosphere like backstage that day for the biggest show ever?
Well, it's a WrestleMania atmosphere. You know the shit is on. You know you have to put on your absolute best performance. It's a great environment. It's very exciting and also very stressful because you know you have to put on the performance of the lifetime that night. And so everybody's just trying to focus and get ready.
Does Vince or anybody with the company hold like a pep talk or rally, a big speech? Does anything like that happen on a big show like this, or does everybody there just all about business?
It's just all about business. Vince usually gave those speeches the week prior at Raw and SmackDown. He knows that we're busy that entire week of WrestleMania with everything that we're doing, going over our match, appearances, media, everything. So we don't have that speech on Sunday at WrestleMania. That's already been done, taken care of, and it's up to us to perform the best we can.
What's show day like? You know, do you have any pre-match rituals when you know it's going to be a big show? Do you eat a certain type of breakfast? Do you wake up at a certain time? Do you have any, what's the old thing? Maybe you had some superstitions. You wore a special pair of socks or anything like that?
No, I didn't have any superstitions. I just would do what I always did. Have a good meal in the morning. I would go for a run, get nice and warmed up, loosened for the day, and go to the arena, get my gear on, say a prayer, and go out there and do what I do best.
Do you recall who your agent was for this particular match with Benoit here at 17?
I believe it was either Pat Patterson or Johnny Laurinaitis. I can't remember, but both of them are exceptional.
How would you compare the two as far as an agent helping produce a match? What was Patterson's style compared to, say, a Johnny Ace?
Patterson was more old school. He liked the old school psychology. Johnny Laurinaitis was more fast paced and new school. He would come up with more innovative finishes. Pat would do more traditional finishes. So, but they were both very effective at the same time.
But before we get there, talk about the good stuff. Let's talk about some bad stuff. Unfortunately, the company makes some news when there's a group outside of the headquarters there in Stanford protesting, saying that wrestling has been overly aggressive, and they're pointing to some cases where kids were trying to emulate what they were seeing on TV. And unfortunately, some of those kids wound up in a bad way as a result. This is also around the same time that, the Attitude Era is kicking off, and obviously with all the suck it chants, and you've got Vince making Trish get on all fours and bark like a dog, and you're creating the Kiss My Ass Club. Did you have we've heard from guys like Goldberg who thought that, this wasn't his sort of entertainment. He didn't agree with the direction, that it was becoming more adult oriented. Were you for that, or did you sort of understand that wrestling was changing?
I wasn't for it, but I understood it, and I knew that wrestling was changing. I knew the Attitude Era made everything different. Vince McMahon became more risky. He took a lot more chances, did a lot of crazy stuff, and it drew ratings. I mean, the Attitude Era was the top-rated era in the company's history. So what he was doing was working. So I understood why they did it. I didn't agree with it, but I understood.
Do you remember there being a time where you were approached about an angle like that, of that nature, and you thought, hey, I appreciate you thinking of me, but that doesn't really work for me? Was there an idea that you had to turn down, but just because you thought it was maybe over the line?
No, they didn't really have me do anything too crazy, but my angle with Booker T and Sharmell, I wasn't comfortable with, and I still did it because they wanted me to, but I actually wish I wouldn't have done that. I didn't think it did anything for my character. It might have drew a little bit of heat, but it wasn't good heat. It was pretty bad heat. So, other than that, I didn't regret anything else I did, and I didn't turn anything down.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.